Hello, hello, hello. Lovely to see you guys. Welcome. It's Ruth here at artfulstampin.co.uk. Welcome to my channel. And we're going to do some stamping. It's Monday, so my brain automatically goes to Masculine Monday, whether or not I will actually use what I make to make a masculine card. I don't know, but it tends to be that I choose things that are non-floral ish. I have chosen some leaf stamps, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm just sorting out my desk view. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what's going on with my settings. It's all been a bit weird. Anyway, hello those of you who are watching on the live. Hello Lisa, Judy, Anne, Kenzie. Great to see you. All right. So I happen to have a few colours on my desk left over from last week. I'm not quite sure what I stamped. Oh, I know what it was. It was that lovely floral on wild wheat. That was last Wednesday, wasn't it? Because I was away Thursday and Friday night, so I couldn't do a live. And yes, I just so happen to have some of those colours still here. But I'm in a bit of a kind of, I looked at some stamps on my shelf and I'm kind of seeing retro in my future in the next half an hour to an hour, with some leaves. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. So I will go for some very vanilla. Just no, wrong one, thick. And those kind of very retro-y, kind of maybe pumpkin pie, something like that in there. Bit 70s, I guess, with those lovely earthy tones that I used last week. And then maybe like a little splash of something unusual, like a bit of blue or something like that. Okay, I've just realised, have I shared this video out in all the right places? I'm looking at how many people are watching, thinking, oh, I forgot to share it out everywhere. Hold on, there's one more place I forgot to share it. I'm just going to do that now. All right, let me just quickly do that. Sorry about this, everybody. So, so while I was away last week, in my kind of travelling time and also where I was staying, I started to do more work on this potential book that I'm writing, or drawing, actually. It's hopefully going to be more pictures than words, to explain kind of one sheet wonder stamping, or the way that I do it. And yeah, there's a question I need to ask you guys who potentially would be interested in such a book. So let me just get my camera on here and then I will ask you and see what you think. All right, there we go. Hi Judy, hi Melissa. Come on in, nice to see you. Okay. So my idea was to use some of these great big shapes from Planted Paradise to create some interesting texture in the background. I was possibly thinking of using my brayer to get some colour down. Not sure. Or just another kind of quite solid stamp. Unfortunately we don't have any really solid shape stamps that are current. We do have had some, like watercolour. Oh, that one without the circles and the squares and everything. Sorry, I'm looking at my desk because I'm not at my desk at the moment, but I've wandered over with my earpiece in so I can still talk to you. I'm looking at my shelf, and the only thing I can think of is of Art and Texture, but that doesn't really have any like sort of shapes in it, which is a bit frustrating. But anyway, I'll maybe just get a bit of colour down with this and then go from there, because I just want to break up the space on my piece of paper. You know, I often talk about this, like breaking into the space, as in, you know, just getting those initial colours down, just so that it doesn't feel like I don't know, that you've got that massive bit of space to play with. Now, why can't I find my mats? It's like my mats are usually here and I can't find them. Sorry, people. I haven't been in my craft room since last week. Where have my mats gone? Oh, there they are. Okay. Hi, Miss Glenna. Oh, have fun at the optometrist. Hi, Shaz. Lovely to see you. There we go. All right, let's get some colour. I'm just going for a bit of Daffodil Delight. And I want blocks of colour. So I'm just going to stamp sort of, yeah, as I said, blocks of colour. I'm just building that up using this, I don't know what stamp this is called. It's kind of a bit barky looking, isn't it? But, sorry, like bark. It looks like bark, not that it barks, but it looks like bark. Okay. Now, the interesting thing about this stamp set is that it is specifically designed to be stamped in a way that you just get the shape as well as the shape with the design on it. It's quite fun. So if you want to just have blocks of colour, you know what, I'm going to make out that it's half a circle. Because when you do this, your brain just fills in the gap. So it kind of, even though it's like actually like a circle with a bit chopped off, if you stamp it at the side of your paper, it doesn't, you don't know that. Isn't that funny? Isn't that clever? Because I kind of do want a nice great big circle, but I don't have one. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use what the brain does to fill in the gaps and make out that that's a circle. Fun, hey? Of course, that means I can only stamp at the edges, but that's okay. I've got other stamps to go inside. Good morning, Miss Cindy. Or good afternoon, Miss Cindy. Good morning, Monica. Hi, Sheila. Oh, Sheila, this might be a fun one for your card making. Just putting some blocks of colour down. Right, so we want another nice block of colour. There's this great big one here. Now, will that fit on there? Yes, I think it will. Hello, Anne! Okay, so I don't want anything too dark. I want to put some blocks of colour down and then I'm going to go over it with some leaves. So I just want some nice bright colours. Oh look, this you could also... Look, it looks like it would carry on. I wasn't actually planning to stamp with this way, but sometimes the ideas flow as you're doing something and something comes to your brain and you're like, okay, let's go with that then. Because I was thinking of just putting blocks of colour all across this page, but I've ended up just doing it along the edge. Oh well, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. Alright, you know what? I'm just going to pause there and think of using something else. I've got that one that's supposed to be like a flower pot, isn't it? But I don't know. Can I use it in a way so it doesn't look like a flower pot? I'm thinking. What colour could I use? Oh, what about Petal Pink? Now, I wonder if I can use this in a way so it doesn't look like a flower pot. What if I connect them? They just look like little top hats on top of each other now, though. Oh, wow. Do that as well. I don't know what these are. I think I might have to put some other colours on here, though. Because I feel like I do want more of that pumpkin pie somewhere. Where's the texture one? Let's get this back on. I'm going to have to figure out a way to stamp with these. To create blocks of colour. Very 70s, I know. I was thinking that too, Right, so where's the gap? I'm just going to move that up to there. That colour it in a bit. It kind of does. Sorta. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, you know me, just making it up as I go along. What if I turn it around and do that? Oh, that's better. It makes a kind of rectangle. All right, we'll go with that. Let's make some more rectangles. Okay. Okay. Maybe one more. Put one down here. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Didn't push hard enough. Do that one again. Okay. Okay. Hi, Maureen. Nice to see you. So I've got this. You know what? I'm not feeling it. I want to just get a whole load of colour on here now. And I'm thinking if I just use Lemon Lolly, I feel like I did this the other day, didn't I? Where I just got Lemon Lolly and got it all over the piece of paper I was doing. Oh, that was the other week, wasn't it? Where we were doing kind of like a sunset thing. But I just don't know. I just feel like it needs coverage. I just don't want it white. So sometimes, as you know, I do stamp onto coloured cardstock, which I did the other week. But the reason why I sometimes don't do that and actually choose to colour the paper myself is because I really, really love the quality of the Stampin' Up paper. Because I find that it's one of the best papers like ever, or cardstock ever, to stamp on, because it has such a fine paper grain that it you just hardly get any bleeding. It's awesome. So There is another. I like it some kind of way. Got to check the name, lol. Oh, what are you talking about? Hi, Glenna. Oh, there's spaces for tomorrow's class if anyone's available and wants to have a go doing it. It's the clusters and lines class, which I know I have taught a few times, but I know some of you do love it, and some of you haven't taken it ever. So I am doing that class tomorrow evening, and there are spaces. So if you fancy booking onto that one, I think Glenna might have shared. I don't know if she shared the link for that one yet. Okay, right, now we're going to go in with the dark colours. So I've got early espresso here, and I fancy stamping this gorgeous tree on here. Thank you, Glenna. Wish I could find my old brayer, not a fan of the new one. Yeah, Deb, I kind of agree with you there, you know. I find the new one okay, but I do like the older one. I do. I hear you. I'm loving this dark brown contrast. Now, I probably could have benefited from just letting this ink soak in before I stamp that, because you know I was going on about the whole, oh, Stampin' Up paper is really great and you don't get any bleeding. The only problem is if you've just inked, it's caused a bit of, obviously, you know, ink is water, fluid, it's got water and it's water based. So that is causing it to bleed a very minute amount. I mean, it's probably imperceptible to you, but I can see it. So if I had more time, if I wasn't demonstrating this live, I probably would give that, just wait a little longer before stamping. But there we go. I do like the contrast of the early espresso on there. See you later, Miss Denise. Take care. Right, I'm not quite sure what to do about that one. Don't really want to stamp it the wrong way. Actually, if I stamp it coming from here, that would look quite nice, I think. Let's do that. I just don't want to chop off the top of the tree, really. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? It's very, very, just, yeah, it is what it is. Okay, right, let's stamp some other leaves. Let's see what fun we can have with these. So have we got these ones that go in two different directions? Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I don't think I've made use of these before, because they go in opposite directions. They're not a mirror image at all, but we can have some fun with them. The tree is from Delicate Forest, Deb. Yeah. Oh, I know that feeling, Denise. I do, and it makes such a difference to have a little tiny catnap before having to use one's brain. So I do get it. This is quite fun. Just a little bit of interlocking pattern going on here. Not interlocking, interweaving maybe? I don't know. What's the right word? Oh, that's nice. That's very satisfying, I have to say. Right, let's try it this way now. I'm just swapping, going from the leaf that goes to the left to the leaf that goes to the right. To the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. Am I doing something? Oh, should have pressed a bit harder. Very satisfying. Hello, Miss Heather. Lovely to see you. So what I'm doing here, for those of you who are new to my channel and you're thinking, what is this woman doing? Why is she bothering making all these patterns? It's because I love creating my own background papers from stamps. So satisfying to do. And it is a type of surface design, but without, using a computer. Or painting it out yourself type thing. So it's a really nice, interesting blend of using pre-made products. In this case, it's stamps from the company Stampin Up, for whom I am a demonstrator, and also my own artistic choices. So I'm choosing the colours, I'm choosing how I lay it out. So it's giving me immense creative satisfaction, but at the same time, I'm not having to draw every single one of these images out myself and, spend lots of time doing that. Yes, very much herringbone. Yes, Melissa. Yep. Oh, I nearly dropped that on my top. Oh, I did drop it on my top. Not a good idea. Right, so I want some other leafy patterns, I think, just to keep going on this. So we've got that lovely big yellow thing there. Ooh, what if we stamp those on there? And a little bit of Cajun. Should we try that? A bit of Cajun Craze. So how was your weekend, everybody? What were you up to? So today, I didn't know I was doing this today until, what day was it? I think it might have been Saturday. I had a message from Ruth at the Potter's House. I've told you about Ruth, who set up the Potter's House charity. And then on Sunday she said, "So are you free Monday?" I was like, yeah. So as part of some funding that the Potter's House got to deliver the APT project, so APT is something called, it stands for Appropriate Paper Technology. Yeah, Appropriate Paper Technology. And it's a way of making really cool devices for children, I guess, and adults if needs be, but it's mainly children that we deal with, out of cardboard and flour and water paste. And so we had funding from the Wales government to do that in Kenya, but part of the deal was that then we delivered workshops for schools in the UK, in Wales. Right, I'm just going to pause there a second because I've got to think about what I'm going to stamp. I think I'm going to stamp something on these. And I have got this stamp, but it's rather large. But I think if I go for something that's not too far off a colour from that, I think that will look okay. I'm wondering whether just to go for a bit of wild wheat on there. I know it's not quite that dark, but anyway, we'll go with it. Anyway, so as part of the project, or part of the funding thing that we had to do, as I said, Ruth had to do these workshops. So she's already went to school and did a workshop with like 50 odd children, making a little stool from cardboard. And so we were doing that today in a local school. I mean, she prepared a lot for the children already. Like she already pre-cut out the cardboard shapes, and so the children had to then dig holes in the card, and then I'm not sure I like that on there. But the problem is, now I've done it, I feel like I should do it to all of them. Yes, so we were there with these very interesting tools that her husband had made. So she'd got a couple of screwdrivers, and he'd then basically created little notches into them. So not only are they pokey, they also got a notch to pull something, pull fabric back through a hole. Anyway, so then he'd bought some great big 6-inch nails, and he'd done the same thing. So they're really cool tools, actually. But as we were going, I was like, have you done a risk assessment on this? And then she was going, oh, yes, because the children are going to saw the cardboard. And I was like, what? The children are sawing the cardboard? Like, yeah, I'll be fine, we'll just tell them to keep their fingers away. I was like, all right, okay. So to be fair, the children were age 11, 10, 11, 12-ish. That sort of. So the final year of primary school, but the last 2 years of primary school, because it was a mixed class, it was year 5 and 6. But they all did fantastic well. So we had 22 children, and they all finished the construction of their stool today. Some of them still had some work to do in terms of the papering, because once you actually kind of construct it, you then have to do paper mache. Like you get newspaper and put that over it, and then you put brown bags over it and stuff. And a few of the children had already finished the brown papering, but some still had some to go. But they did very, very well. That was just really fun hanging out with kids that were just like quite eager to learn and have a go, and yeah, it was cool. So that's what I was doing all day today. Right, I'm just stamping these little trees because I feel like I've got these gaps and I just want to fill them. And I'm kind of like creating a little coppice of wood, little trees, doing this way. It's quite nice. It's just texture. No, they don't want to get hurt, and as long as you tell them, it's pointy, it's sharp, they're quite good actually. The issue for them was just some of them were just never used a saw before, so just helping them to find the rhythm of how to use a saw, that was the trickiest thing probably for them. And the only person that got injured, because at the end of the day I said, right, if anyone got injured, anyone hurt themselves? No, the only person that hurt themselves was Ruth, not me, the other Ruth. I don't know how she did it. She did something. She cut herself somehow, which I thought was actually quite funny, considering I was worried that a child might lob their fingers off or something. But yeah, it was very good. I might if I what's the word? If I get rid of the faces of the children, blur the children's faces, I might be able to show you some pictures. You went to a stamp sale on Saturday, then went to a market on Sunday. Oh, Judy. Oh, that sounds dangerous. What did you buy? So would supplies, crafting supplies, be helpful, or cards, or what would help the Welsh kids? Help the Welsh kids? Oh, no, they were learning how to construct furniture out of cardboard. That's what they were learning how to do today. Yeah. The idea is to give them a similar experience to what they do in Kenya, you see. Ruth also did a lovely presentation about, what life is like out there for people who live. So she was explaining that the people we work with live in quite dire poverty, quite, abject poverty. And it was really sweet. The question some of the children were asking, like, that one of the children noticed there was this like wire hanging at the back of, in the distance, and they were like, "Is that a telephone wire? Do they have telephones?" And we were like, "Yeah, they don't have landlines, but they do get 4G, and they do have mobile data." because I thought I don't want these kids to think that like everyone in Kenya lives in sort of this level of poverty. You know, obviously a lot of people do, but not everyone lives like this. And so we said, no, actually, those are electricity wires. But yes, they do have mobile phones. And they were like, so where would they buy those? And we're like, well, more in the towns and the cities, you know. Um, I mean, obviously, life is very different out there. But I remember talking to a guy when I was being taken to the airport when I went, um, the guy who was driving me picked up a mate of his, and he was saying that when people come from the West to Kenya, they're like they almost expect I don't know what it is some people expect, but they almost think that people just sort of literally they come out of their mud huts and they're like walking with tigers and lions. He said they have such a weird view of what it's like to live in Africa, and then they come to Nairobi and go, oh, it's just like a normal city, and it's just like, yeah, with high-rise buildings and concrete and shops. You know, lots of traffic. I mean, obviously there are areas in Kenya that, in Nairobi that is, you know, like slum. You know, Ruth was explaining interestingly that the road to the airport, you have a slum on one side of the road, and then like the most wealthiest part of Nairobi on the other. I mean, the contrast is super, super high. And that's the same. I mean, you get places like that in India. You know, there's oh, what's the biggest slum? Is it Mumbai? You know, we have literally people in these amazing luxury apartments overlooking slums, you know. So, yes, like people think Canadians live in, yes, in igloos with the Eskimos. Yeah. Oh, Cindy, what's happened? Something to your bike? What about your bike? I'm just breathing. We'll have a few lovely glasses of wine. Oh, front wheel off, and it still takes off half the back of your Subaru. What happened? Oh no. Lisa spent time with her friends doing an outside adventure and tried a new craft project. Oh, cool. Very good. 'Tis the season here in Ontario that makes me think of pumpkins as I look at the orange circles. Yes, yes, very much so. I mean, this is a very random. I'm just kind of stamping. I'm just having fun with this. Although I'm wondering whether to put some texture on now. I'm kind of feeling it for I found my Queen Bee stamp set because I thought I'd got rid of it, but I actually do have it. That would make sense to stamp on there. We're going retro and vintage all at the same time, everybody. Okay. People who live in poverty also have good lives, whether in life. Yeah, absolutely. It's all relative, and very much, you know, there are like it was interesting showing the children the pictures of Njoro, which is the place where we work, and you know, yes, you know, there's, you know, Ruth was explaining that there's one street that's tarmacked, and then all the other streets are dirt streets. But then we were showing them pictures of the fruit and the vegetables, and the children were like, "Oh wow!" They love seeing like all the fruit and veg and the food, and you know, Ruth was able to say the vegetables taste amazing, and you know, because it's hot out there, so they get to grow really lovely fruit and stuff. So, um, you know, there's always, I don't know, it's more than just one thing, isn't it, in terms of your experience of a country or poverty or riches or whatever it is. So, and in a way, it's sad. We were Ruth was saying that sadly that in Kenya, you know, women in general, women get trained to be nurses, but apparently 80% of them then leave Kenya to then go to work in other places, and because you know they want a better life for themselves or a perceived better life. You know, that's what they think. But then people come here to the UK and they don't realise how much the cost of living is. And they think they're gonna, earn lots of money, and then actually, they can end up, with quite a tricky situation because, things are expensive here. So, I'm liking this. I like it so much. We just wish my boys would. Oh. I like putting, so I've done this in early Espresso, and it just helps to balance the whole picture, I think, or the whole sheet, because we've got these really dark, trees, but then putting this through has just made it look really interesting. And I quite like this text against, because it says things like, it's got garden bee, flower, bloom, life, miracles, honey gather, spring grow. Spring is not quite, it's a bit more autumnal, I know, but it's actually quite nice having that in there. I'm wondering whether to put some other texture, maybe with wild wheat. Oh, you know what? Just because my favourite stamps is on the table, I might just add a few sprigs of this in, just because I can, because it's there. It was here. What can I say? I'm a sucker for this stamp. I love it. I'm trying not to get ink on my pink nails. I did this on Saturday night, and then today I did end up with some of it chipping, and I redid it earlier. I'm like, I want my nails to last a bit longer. But I know that the dark ink sometimes stains it. So. Oh, this is very delicate, but it is pretty. I'm just adding the wild wheat to these little sprig things going on here. I might just have some coming up, as if I did have some down here. Bit of texture, extra bit of texture there. Do you know me? I love to layer. Lots of layering. Do I want more in there? Why not? Put a bit of pecan pie in there. Oh, I'll just throw it all on. Hi, Janice. Oh dear. Oh, excuse me. I'll stick a little bit of. Yeah. I'm going to turn that round there and put the thicker bit at the top. That's quite nice. I like that. Oh, this has turned out to be very over the top, but I'm really loving it. I'm just enjoying stamping, because sometimes it's just fun just to stamp and just see what happens. It's quite joyful looking, isn't it? Might just clean that off and just do another colour. Just going to get the Daffodil Delight back out again, I think. But I do need to clean that off. Where's my cleaner gone? Which is the background yellow? Oh, so I stamped these big blobs in Daffodil Delight, but then I did go over with the brayer in So Saffron. Yeah. Janice has been a-lurking. Your hands were busy. What were you making, Janice? Oh, did you have a stall on the Saturday, Janice? Feels like you've had a stall every Saturday for the last, like, month. What fun. So I've just stamped this yellow in any areas that I feel was looking a little bit pale. And because it's kind of yellow on yellow, it just gives a really nice bit of background texture now. It's very subtle. It's nice. Moisturising your legs. Oh, I say. That's very important. Very important. I don't know if I've said it on this channel, but I've heard recently that it's really important that people moisturise their legs. Male, female, everybody should moisturise their legs, especially as you get older, because the skin on your legs gets very thin, and it causes so many problems in later life. So really important. That's my little public information notice to everybody. Thank you, everybody. Saturday was Amy's birthday paddleboarding picnic. Lovely. I bet that was fun. Feels like it needs a bit more pecan pie. I might just do some splattage. Should I do some pecan pie splattage? I've got pecan pie there and I've got some there, but there we go. Just add a little spray of pecan. I wonder what would happen if I just did this. Oh, that's interesting. I'm just adding a little bit of detail to the leaf, like that. Okay, I might not do this for everyone, but it's interesting just to add that extra. So it's pecan on pecan. I think I've kind of discovered this more a bit recently, the idea of adding detail to a stamp after you've stamped it. Just to make it your own, really. It just gives it a bit of extra. I don't know if you might not be able to see that, but anyway, it does add something a little bit extra to what's happening. Where's my Espresso pen? Okay, I'm just going to do a bit of more splattage with the early Espresso. It feels like it needs that too. So it's ended up looking kind of vintagey retro, hasn't it? But anyway. Oh, that was a quick little snooze, Miss Denise. Hello, Miss Barb. Well, I'm finding that out about now, about the moisturising. Ah, good. I packed a plastic 18 by 12 by 6 container with 2 paper pumpkin kits, supplies or cards, and I'll see if I get any made. You use magnesium butter. Oh, yes, if you suffer from restless legs, magnesium butter is apparently very good. Magnesium cream. 2 of my boys are going up north to go hunting. Hope they get a moose. Oh, yum. If they get to Do they get to keep it to eat it as well? It makes the vine stand. Oh, you can see it now. Oh, there we go. You can see that. Okay. All right, lovelies. I am going to go over the stamp set. So I tried not to use too many, but then a couple more crept in, didn't it? I was aiming to use primarily Delicate Forest and Planted Paradise. These ones here. And I did, kinda. Just a little bit of cheating with the addition of Queen Bee, because I just really wanted that little bit of interesting texture. And also I did use of Art and Texture. I did use that one, and that one. So yeah, I did, let's say three, those are the main three. And then use that, and also just that little leafy thing there, which I didn't have to use. You know, that was just, you know. Then the colours I used were, let's get these all out in order. Lemon Lolly, Daffodil Delight, Petal Pink, Pumpkin Pie, Cajun Craze, Pecan Pie, Wild Wheat, and Early Espresso. So very autumnal colours. Yeah. Really, really rich and lovely, but bright as well, nice and bright. And then I also used those two wee pens, the Pecan Pie and the Early Espresso. You can tell that one's a bit cleaner than that one. That one's a bit newer, rather, because it's cleaner. Oh dear, I've just swiped off what it says on there now. Oh dear, I didn't mean to do that. That's an older pen anyway. There we go. Right. You missed the Petal Pink. Yes, that was what I stamped that funny plant pot thing. I just wanted to get some of that colour in the background. So, he did catch. Oh, that's good. Right. Nice to see you all. I'm going to love you and leave you, and hopefully see you at some point tomorrow. As I said, I do have a class tomorrow. So I stamped on very vanilla Barb. Yeah, very vanilla. Because so if you watch back, I did some stamping and then I went over with my brayer with Lemon Lolly because I wanted it all to be not vanilla. So, yeah. Thank you. The grouping centre right looks like a park bench. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right, take care, everyone, and hopefully see some of you tomorrow in class. And I'll hopefully try and come on live at some point, but I'll see how it goes tomorrow evening. But if not, I'll see you on Wednesday. All right, lots of love, everybody, and if you need some details about Stampin' Up, follow the links. Follow the links.